the coolest part of what I get to do is be around just the most awesome people on the planet, right? Like just sitting back and watching Elon Musk and President Trump talk about consequential political issues. Like, what am I doing here, right? Like, I didn't go to college. I'm a kid from Chicago. It really goes to show that this country still has meritocracy at its core. And I think that is a testament to why this country is so great, that if you prove yourself, if you have the right work ethic, if you have a little grit and resolve, you can end up around the kings of today.
Charlie Kirk, founder of TPUSA, my dude, you've built an actually enormous thing. Congratulations. Seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers, trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something, in our own likeness and image. But no, I mean, glory be to God. It's amazing.
I'm going to try not to stop a whole lot. Are you getting that this guy right here on the screen hates this guy right here? Is that what you're getting? Can y'all just real quick in the chat, can you yay or nay, yes or no? Are you getting that this guy hates this guy? That these gentlemen hate one another? I mean, some of us, if this is what hate is, a lot of us are like, boy, I wish I had some friends that hated me like this. Like I'm not getting hate vibes, if you will. What do they call it? Ops. I'm not getting ops behavior over here. Like what? like I would absolutely. I got some people that don't like me. If this is what don't like is, I would rather these people don't like me like Ben and Charlie didn't like each other. That's some crazy work. Like be more like Ben and Charlie. In the world where people hate you, be like Ben and Charlie. Like this is some crazy work. But this is what I'm saying. Like Candace is a lot. I'm gonna back up a little bit because I thought this opening was fantastic. So I am gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna try not to, but I try. Candace keeps saying that Charlie hated Ben. What are you talking about? Does that mean that they dotted every I and crossed every T? Let's stop being silly. Like we're not children. We don't have to think like that. But I don't think that it's fair to say there is no proof or evidence that these men don't like one another. All right, bring it back in. Let's go.
USA, my dude. You've built an actually enormous thing. Congratulations. Seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers, trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something, in our own likeness and image. But no, I mean, glory be to God. It's amazing. And this election cycle was a big test for us. And we were thrilled with the result.
I have to say, it's actually incredible. So there was a tape of you from election night when it was announced that President Trump had won. And you got really emotional. And I was moved by it because I know how much work you've put in over the last 10 years just to get to this point and to be so influential in this election. And listen, I mean, you were handed an enormous responsibility. And that's a super hard thing. Yeah. I mean, they basically said, okay, why don't you just handle voter turnout? It's like, what in the world? So explain to me how you even build that sort of machine that leads to President Trump being reelected.
Well, it was a couple of things. We had President Trump's back throughout the primary and the whole process. So there weren't a lot of us that were kind of building this kind of machinery. And it turned out once we got to the general election, we must remember that the odds did not.
Okay, I just realized I did not put this video link in the description. So I'm going to stop for a second and give us a second. Because I really want you all to have this video. And I will make sure I put it in the video as well, down in the description of the video. But I realize it's not there. So I want you to have this because I really think this is something we need to put this out there and just completely shellac that lie that Charlie Kirk hated Ben Shapiro and vice versa. I see no evidence to that point. If this is the evidence, if they hated one another, where is it? Where is that evidence? All right, so let's bring that back in. I just wanted to make sure it's there. I do apologize. I'll try to do that while we're watching this as well. Shout out to the best live chat on the planet.
Not look great for his general election chances. I mean, from the lawfare to just kind of the party was not completely yet behind him. And so we volunteered. We're like, hey, we know how to do this on college campuses. We want to do some voter turnout stuff. And because of an FEC ruling that happened this last spring, you're allowed to coordinate with presidential campaigns. It was an election ruling. Actually, Mark Elias sued the FEC and won, and he thought it would help the Democrats. And so we started working with a great campaign team, Susie Wiles, James Blair, and we said, hey, especially in Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, some of these states will really have grassroots infrastructure. We believe that we can help the campaign and fill the gaps in and hire bodies. And so we went out on a hiring spree. We hired 1,500 full-time people in the key battleground states. Massive, like an enormous sum. And our hypothesis was that we do not have to take the electorate as is, meaning we can make the electorate more in a MAGA image. The traditional Republican orthodoxy was that you have to win swing voters, and they're the most important voters. And that's probably true in lower turnout elections. But in high turnout elections, you can actually change the electorate to be a little more masculine, a little more rural, a little more gun owning, a little more muscular class, a little more MAGA. So we said, how do we turn Trump supporters into voters? Because it's one thing to say that I like Donald Trump, I like the vibe, he's great, I watch him on TikTok, and then turn him into a voter. That's where we came in. So the second part of our hypothesis is that we need to dominate early voting month, which is that we as Republicans are foolish to not engage in those 30 days of early voting and act as if everyone should just show up on one day. And so we and Elon and a couple others on the outside built this force that was really underestimated and scoffed at and smeared and honestly slandered by the media. Oh, Charlie Kirk and Elon Musk kind of doing this voter turnout operation. It turns out that what we did worked. And it actually, the credit really goes to President Trump because it was the easiest get out the vote operation ever because we were talking to people that already liked him, that knew him, and his name ID had full saturation. We just needed to turn that support from, yes, I like him, to a ballot in a box. And we did that hundreds of thousands of times over a 30-day period in the key battleground states.
And not to get too much ahead of ourselves, because this is an enormous victory, but looking forward 4 years, these were, as you say, many of these are low propensity voters who love President Trump, who's a unique political figure, the most unique political figure of our lifetime, a historic political figure, probably the most historic American political figure of the last.
Okay, I'm going to back up a little second. I'm going to back up for a second. Shout out to Jasmine. I love this comment right here. This point about voter turnout, I think, is really, really useful, especially considering local lesser attended elections. I really want to, what I think, I'm going to give you what I believe is happening. And I don't think that we as just the hoi polloi, just your normal average day Janes and Joes, should miss what Charlie Kirk said as it relates to voter turnout and getting people excited, going from liking to actually going to the ballot and voting for. I really believe that what Candace is doing and what the left is doing is trying to demoralize this operation, because they know that if they can get you feeling bad, if they can get you feeling icky, if they can get you feeling demoralized and unexcited about going to the midterms, because midterms are definitely less exciting than presidential elections. Then if they can just get a certain number of you all, a certain number of us to not want to go vote, to not want to participate, to not want to be a part of this because you think some this, that, and other, then they know that they will absolutely eviscerate and shellac us in the midterm and cause the next 2 years of Trump to just be a waste. He'll be a lame president and it'll just be a fight. We'll be watching some of the craziest stuff we've ever seen. So that's why we don't lose heart. We don't lose heart. We don't get discouraged because of all of this other foolishness. That's why I believe so much has been going on against TPUSA as an entity, as well as against Erica Kirk as the head of TPUSA and as an individual herself, because it demoralizes and it removes that excitement, that energy that was there before that brought President Trump in and has started to hopefully turn the tide. Well, now they want to completely wreck it. And that's what I think is happening. So shout out to there. All right. Appreciate y'all. What's going on? I see my brother up in the building. There he is, President Not Perfect in the building, dropping them green grenades in the building. Thank you so much. They want us to be hopeless. They want us to be hopeless. Now, our hope ultimately is not in presidents and elections. They're not in representatives or any of that kind of stuff or ballots. Our hope is ultimately in Christ. That being the case, however, we do live in the best country on the planet, bar none. Why would we want to not see this prosper? Why would we not want to see our great grandchildren be in a country that's better than the one that we're currently living in even now? I know you like that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.